In the days before, the gods gave us the spark of ambition, which lit the fires of creation. They gave us a world of our own, a home. They made us builders, warriors, legends. They gave us everything. But our hubris overcame us. We thought ourselves to be gods instead. We tore apart their memory, and so we were punished. Everyone, everything cast into the fire. Yet some of us were spared. To start again.
Well, hi, Greg. Bye, Greg. Welcome, welcome, welcome to Aska. Guide / tutorial / let's play. So this is where you first start out, marooned out on the beach after Jotun completely destroyed your ship. And get a little guide at the top, and we'll possibly see a little wisp come up soon enough. But anyway, you're gonna first come out on the beach, and the important part to note about this game is that you are not alone. Well, right now you are, but this is a village survival game, which means there's going to be more people to join you. And the way they make them join us is using these little things here, Jotun blood. So we're going to grab these. We get 5 to start, which is exactly how many you need to get started. Okay. And then we need to gather some basic materials to get us started. Now I'm going to move this over here. We need stones, sticks, and fiber. Okay? And we're going to get those by looking around our environment. So if you hit Z, you're going to go ahead and ping your area, and you're going to see what kind of materials you got. You got your stones, or your big stones, which you can't break yet. You got thatch. Now, thatch can be turned into fiber, but it's not worth it. We need this resource later on, so you don't want to pick it. And then you have, which we got super lucky, another form of fiber in flax. This is what you really want to go after right here. It gives you 5 fiber per. So another stone right here. You want sticks, and then you want food. And berries are a good source of food. You want probably about 10 berries. You can also find, out on the beach here, on the rocks, you can find some seashells, or some shellfish, sorry. Right here, you got mussels growing out of the rocks. So we're gonna go ahead and pick these rocks clean, and then we're gonna look for some sticks, okay? You want to have about, I wanna say 4 sticks, about 10 rocks, or stones rather, and about 20 to 30 fiber. Now this wisp here, he gives you hints. So we talk to him, hey, use the build menu and build yourself a simple fire. Find it under the bushcraft category, okay? So, normally I turn him off, but I want you to see what he does. You'll also sometimes get little tutorial hints at the top as well. Those can help you, and he'll guide you pretty well. The tutorial hints will guide you pretty well. Also, if you hit G, this is your God's favor path. And this will also let you know what kind of things you can do early on. You have your journal, which will ping information on recipes and items that you pick up. And then you also have H. H is literally just a tutorial section. So if there's ever a thing that you're trying to get right and you can't figure it out, this would be where you would go, okay? Now, because you're here, I would hope that you would like to watch what I'm playing. That way you know what's going on. And here we go. This is, oh no, that's not. That's just a tiny sapling that we can't pick yet. So We want to establish a base as soon as possible. And we want to get our Eye of Odin, quote unquote, which is what lets us summon villagers as soon as possible. But to do that, we want to find a decent spot. And I'll talk to you about this. I'll let you know what a decent spot would look like. Here are our source of sticks early on. It's going to be dwarf trees. We don't have an axe yet, so we can't cut down trees. These birds' nests sometimes give you eggs. It's a decent idea to actually try picking them and see what you find. All right, so we got some rocks here. You're going to be doing a lot of pinging early on. The game is very slow to start, and the reason for that is that they want you to focus on using your villagers to gather resources rather than yourself. That's kind of the objective. Now, unless you find a spire, yes, I see you there. There's not much to worry about as far as danger goes. Most of the creatures that will come after you, you can run away from. Things like wisps on the beach, wolves, and skeletons further in. Wolves, you're going to hear them very much, or very far away before you see them. So, hey, look, we got some garlic. We're going to leave that on the ground. There's no point in picking it right now. It's going to go to waste, and we don't need the food. We continue to pick up stones. How many stones we got? We got 10 already? Okay. So now we're going to go into B. We're going to go into materials. We're going to craft 5 stone blades. And since we got 2 more, we'll just craft another stone blade. Now, we don't have quite as much fiber yet, so we're going to hold off on that. Nope. Another dwarf spruce. Now, you want to find a spot, and this is the criteria for spots you want to find, okay? You want to find a decently flat spot that's next to a lot of fir trees. Okay? Very, very important. Fir pine, okay? This kind of tree, right? Pine trees. I'm sure you've seen a million pine trees. You want to be next to that, right? Early on, this is the only tree you're going to be able to get. You cannot get birch trees early on, so settling inside a birch forest, not a good idea, okay? You want to be inside a fir forest. So I'm going to go a little bit more inland just to see if we can't find a nice flat spot next to a bunch of fir trees. Okay? And another plus is an area that has food, like the smokers, which you can't see it because he's kind of in the grass a little bit. It's basically this game's version of a rabbit. Let's see if we can get nearby it and it won't immediately get freaked out. There he is. So that guy, okay? You want to be near an area that has those guys. That way, whenever you do set up a hunting lodge, your hunter can get those. And this seems like a really good area. Now, before you decide finally on an area, you want to make sure that you look around, okay? This area looks pretty good. It's not the flattest thing ever, but it's not completely unusable, right? It's not completely sheer cliffs and mountainsides. It's just a couple hills here and there, so that's still usable. But you want to look around the area before you decide to make sure that you don't have any enemy spawners. So enemy spawners would be things like those guys right there, right? So right there, that is a skeleton spawner. And we'll get closer so you can see what it is. Exactly. All right, we have enough materials now to craft up under B. Go to tools. Well, actually, let's craft a rope first. We're going to go ahead and craft all this fiber into rope. You're not going to need the bare fiber anytime soon. We're going to craft a stone axe as our first tool. A stone pick as our second tool. We're going to need a hoe for construction. And we should technically have just enough to make a stone knife. And now we get enough sticks. We will get a wood hammer. We basically have all of the basic tools we need. We'll keep on working on, once we bring down a tree, making ourselves a torch. Torches are very, very short-lived, but they're decent to have sometimes. You can get some really, really dark nights in the game. All right, now let's see. That way you can see what's up in here. Some of these guys will not always have things, but this guy does. And you see that guy right there with the purple face? He's pretty dangerous. You really don't want to be near him, especially early on in the game, okay? He will ruin us right now. All right, so we're going to stay away from this area. But I do like where we are, so what I might do is let's search down here and see see what it looks like. Okay? All while still picking any seed we find, or any flax we find, and any little twigs we find along the way, and stones. Okay? Fiber is going to be the bane of your existence because you need it to craft all the rope, and almost every single construction project is going to need rope. Okay? So I'm going to look further down here and see what we find. So we're not at the closest point, but we are pretty close to that area where the smokers are. The funny looking rabbit goat things. Nope. Yeah, I think this would probably be a good spot right here. We got decent enough flat area to expand that way and this way. Yeah, I think that'll be good. And we're right next to a... Oh, and we do have food here. Look at that. Alright, so I'm thinking... Let's see, where is the fir trees the thickest? There, it seems. Alright. Decent amount of fir trees on this side as well. So I'm breaching this mountain here just to make sure that we are not going to be next to a wolf den or another kind of spawner. We really don't want to be next to any of those. Okay? Oh, I hear wolves. Yeah. Listening will be the easiest way you know. There's a wolf right there. Or, in this game, they're called wolvers. So, we can't see their spawner over here, so I think that over here will still be good. Now, wolves early on will seem daunting because they hurt a lot if they hit you. But if you are careful, you can kite them around and actually get some really decent food out of them. Oh, we got another wolf den over here. This might not be the spot. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Uh-oh. I really don't want to fight you right now. That's unfortunate. That seemed like a really good spot, too. They don't seem to go out very far past their den. So I wouldn't worry about them too much. As long as you get far enough away, they'll stop chasing you. That is unfortunate. So not a good spot. Let's see around here maybe. Technically, as long as I keep all our guys away from that area, we should be good to go. So maybe a clearing around here, possibly. It's because we got dens up here. We got this up here. I've never fully gone after a den. So there is a possibility that they can be completely eliminated. So this is going to be the early days of you starting out, and this is what you want to be doing. All right. You know what? I think here will be good. Now, the problem with these guys is they are considered pests because they go after all of your stuff. Okay? They're going to be eating anything they find. As far as I can tell, they'll even eat, like, rocks. So you definitely don't want to be hanging around them too much. Well, I think this way would be probably good. Yeah, we're going to do it here. Okay, this is where we're going to be land. So, let's start by building a simple fire. This is the one place you're going to need fiber, but hopefully you'll have picked up a decent amount of fiber already. Alright, we're going to go ahead and ignite it. Alright, because we're going to have to go after rocks now to upgrade this. So, here's your tutorial. It's going to tell you, hey, structures, if you hit T on them. Right, so if you hit T, it's going to show you an upgrade menu for them, okay? That's what this thing is trying to tell you. So this is the upgrade menu. We can upgrade the campfire or the simple fire into a campfire. It's going to require those materials. And then if you click here, you can also dismantle them. All right. So we're going to go ahead and build. It's going to give us our little blueprint for doing that. Now, I don't have any of the required supplies because I've turned all of the stuff we had into other materials. But we got the supplies around us, and we have a pick. Now, we need stones. Stones are one of the they are needed and not needed, kind of, sort of. Like, you need them very early on, then you don't need them, and then you need them a little bit later on. But the best way to gather stones is not to go to one of these big rocks here and gather them. It's actually to go to a Jotun blood shard and gather it here. This will give you stones. It would also give you big stones. And it's the bonus that it also gives you the resource you need to bring settlers down, bring villagers, right? So we're going to go ahead and hit up on this. You're going to notice very early on that we consume a bucket ton of stamina to try to do any kind of work, okay? And there's a purpose for that. One, you are very inefficient. You don't have any kind of buffs for dealing with materials and stuff, right? So if you look at the tab, this is your gathering proficiencies, your wood harvesting, all these proficiencies, right? We're novices. We're not very good at any of this, okay? We're also not very strong. Where is it? Our strength is only 2. Okay? Now, you can technically spawn as Ragnar, which you probably noticed when you went to start the game, okay? There's Aska and there's Ragnar. Ragnar has a lot more strength. He's very good at gathering materials. And so you might think, hey, let's go with that option then. Problem with Ragnar is he's a hungry boy. He's a very hungry boy. Okay? And because of that, I tend not to gravitate towards him because material gathering gets very, very easy once you have a couple villagers. What doesn't get easy is food. Okay? As you start getting a lot of villagers, your food starts to get spread thin. You really don't want to be you really don't want to be spending all your food on yourself. You want your villagers to have that food. Okay? Now, if you get yourself into a pickle and you get hurt, it's not a big deal. You can heal by sleeping and you can heal by eating certain vegetables. Okay? If you die, you're going to have 2 options. You can, 1, respawn as a ghost and consume one of your villagers to come back in, or you can just take the hit and reincarnate, essentially. But when you reincarnate, you're going to have lost some of your proficiencies. Okay, some of your strength, your intelligence, and your experiences. Okay, so there are both options, and that's going to matter based on what you want to do. Okay. All right, now we got some more sticks. I'm gonna grab this stuff, and I'm going to take the stick with me because we're going to need it later on. Go ahead and drop this off right here. All right, now that's built, and it gives us some more free fire. Let's go ahead and turn on. Now we're going to need a shelter, and then we're going to need a rain collector before we can summon our first guy. Now normally I do this very, very quickly, but you know. Right. So when you put down big shelter or big buildings, they're going to need the ground to be leveled underneath them. That's step 1. And then they're going to have multiple stages of building. Okay? So, first of all, let me put this here. Get rid of those. Need some of that. Okay? So now it's requiring us to get 2 large sticks. Not a problem. We've already gathered 2 large sticks when we went after a tree. So, there you go. Now we get to build with our hammer that we built right early on, right? You do get damage sometimes when you're building, which is a little unfortunate, but you know. Now it needs 1 long stick 2 rope, and 8 sticks. Now you're gonna be like, hey, I gotta keep remembering this. Well, you don't. If you look at your structure and you hit Q, right at the top left, it's gonna give you, hey, these are the things you already have. I already have the rope. I'm gonna go ahead and put that in. You need more sticks, and you need another long stick, which is good because when we take down a tree, which I'm gonna take this one down because it's a taller young fir, it's gonna give us a little more materials. You're gonna get sticks, long sticks, bark, and resin. One of the materials that we needed to make a torch, which we should actually make a torch when we bring this guy down. But yeah, you're gonna notice this game, especially early on, it needs quite a bit of work, right? You gotta do quite a bit of stuff to get started. And that's because they want to encourage you to get your villagers, okay? So I'm gonna grab this resin, I'm gonna grab these sticks, I'm gonna grab all this stuff right here. All this stuff is gonna be useful, I promise. Now, if you're struggling right now to get fiber, you don't see any more flax bushes or anything like that, that's okay. Because we can turn bark into fiber. And there's 2 ways to do this. If the bark is on the ground, you can hold R to harvest it. And you're gonna do this thing where you do that and then it turns it into fiber, okay? Now that gave me 2 fibers, so now we have a bunch of fiber. Which, let me go ahead and turn this into a rope real quick. We're gonna need all this rope anyway. Okay. Or, if you go into your menu, you hold Shift and you left click. You're gonna notice, so when you look at the tooltip down at the bottom left, right? Hold Shift left click. That will also turn it into fiber. Okay? So that's faster than sitting there with your guy just kind of twiddling his thumbs, trying to get it done. Right. Now, we need more sticks. It's like, oh, you need more sticks. You know what? I don't feel like taking down another tree. That would be the obvious option, but I'm not going to do that, okay? I'm going to bring this thing over here. I'm going to drop it on the ground, and I'm going to go ahead and harvest it. Most materials, most big materials can be harvested, or more small materials. And this one's going to give you more bark, more sticks, and it's going to give you some more fiber, okay? So, I'm going to grab this bark. Not going to get a lot out of it, but you're going to get something out of it, okay? Let's take this firewood real quick. And we're going to add some more firewood, keep this fire running, okay? And let's build. Now it's going to need a bunch of bark. Okay? We have already been collecting bark. We have just enough. Maybe just a little bit more than just enough. Boom. We have a shelter. And there's our little whisperer trying to tell us to do stuff. Okay? Move this stuff here. Get it out of the way. Now, we need something to collect water in, all right? Now, there's 2 options, but at the first part of the game, you only have 1 option. And that 1 option is a rain catcher, okay? Rain collector, which is just a big old trough with a gap inside, okay? We're gonna go ahead and level this out. Once you build one of these, you'll be able to build one of these water wells, okay? And a lot of this stuff that's unlocked or that's locked is going to work that way. You're going to do one thing before, that way you'll be able to unlock something else, okay? Now, I'm going to go ahead and put the IO vote in here. Once you build this will be your new respawn point, okay? If this ever gets destroyed, which it can get destroyed, and things will go after it, by the way, if it ever gets destroyed, you'll respawn again at the beach. Okay? So, I'm going to need these big stones later on for that. That's why I'm carrying those around. Let's go and find... We got more rocks right here on the floor. We'll grab this big stone. Bring it back. Right here. Okay. It wants more sticks, and it's going to want some logs. That is not a problem. Now, instead of continuing to break down our resources, I'm just going to go ahead and take down another one of these. That might seem silly, but it's worth it, because rather than sitting here trying to break down resources we're going to need later on, I'm just going to go ahead and grab these sticks. It's going to give us bark. It's going to give us more long sticks for later on, which we're going to need a lot of. And we can turn the bark into fiber for rope. So, which I'm going to do right now. Okay. Let's go ahead and... Is that a young fir? I think this is a young fir as well. Yes, it is. Okay. Let's go. Now, I'm doing this in a tutorial guide fashion. Normally you want to do this decently quickly. Okay, you don't want to be hanging around waiting too long. And the reason for that is it takes almost 10 minutes to bring a villager in. Okay? So you want to be doing it as fast as possible. That way your downtime is reduced, and that way you're a little more efficient, right? You don't want to be sitting here doing all this work by yourself. You want to have more people helping you, and that's going to become very exponential. The more people you have, the faster you're going to do the work, which means the faster you're going to expand. That also comes at a detriment of food, and it comes at a detriment of defense. I played this game a lot during the demo, and the demo defense was not set up. And what ended up happening was, oh, I forgot to grab the long guy. Because defense was not set up, my guys weren't complaining about defense. In the actual game, the defense is turned on, and they get very upset about defense. If you don't have defenses, your guys are going to get very unhappy. And their unhappiness turns into work being done very, very inefficiently. And that is what I'm actually struggling with right now in my stream series. If you want to go ahead and see that, that is available in the YouTubes. And yeah, a little bit of a self-promotion there. Let's get this Ep1 started. Oh, we still need rocks. Then take this bark, turn it into fiber. I have a lot of stuff on me. So what I'm going to do is, I'm going to drop some of this stuff off. Let me make this torch real quick. If I forget. I always forget to make it, and then I use the materials for something else, and then I don't have the materials again. Right. I'm going to drop off these seeds, which occupy quite a lot of space on the floor for some reason. All right, let's start eating our mussels because they're going to go bad, and our berries. I'm going to drop these guys off. You can also hit X over them, but it's a little finicky sometimes. So, that guy, he's going to be coming over here real soon to bother us. He's already rearing up. So I'm going to actually go this way. That way I can shoo him away. You guys eat anything. Oh, yeah, we're in a good spot. Yep, there's my stamina. My stamina is horrendous. Now, something I haven't shown you, because right now we really, really, really want to get this Eye of Odin set up, is you can sleep in the shelter. We technically do not have a tiredness debuff, so we can go on working indefinitely without ever going to sleep. But we do get a buff for sleeping in a shelter. And later on, when you have a house, your buff is even greater. It's just one of these elk guys. Okay. And boom. Alright. So I'm pulling urine blood. I'll grab these rocks and big stone. Right. Then drop this. Put those stones in. Let's build. And by the way, the music that you're hearing is not actually from the game. It's from Valheim, which is another Viking survival game. It doesn't have the village aspect though. Hopefully they'll resolve the issues that they're having with the music in the game. Apparently there's some issues of copyright problems, so. Alright, now we have the Eye of Odin. We're gonna immediately open it. Put 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Activate. Okay. Important. Early on, you're going to want to look for people that do very good with logging, people that do very good with gathering, and people that do very good with stone gathering, stone mining. Okay. So unfortunately, we don't have anything that stands out when it comes to logging, mining, or gathering. We have stout constitution. Which is okay, but this person really does not like nighttime. Stoneforged and Snowstrider. So if you don't have any of those things that you're really looking for, then you want to look for really good buffs when it comes to general environment. So Stoneforged, they don't mind the rain, they like the rain. And Snowstrider, they're very good in snowy weather. So we're gonna pick Fiat and set them up to go. And you're gonna see at the top right, which I can't mouse to because it's over here where my mouse is now. They're going to take 10 minutes to get here, right? That's part of the reason why you want to set this up as soon as you can. You really don't want to be lollygagging with it because it does take quite a bit of time to bring you guys in, right? Now let's go ahead and build this, which we have the sticks for right here. Need 2 more sticks. Now, normally in this instance, I would go out and get some more Jotun blood. Right now we have the 5 we need to push forward, so I'm not as worried about Jotun blood. What I'm going to do is build this rain collector, and then I'm going to set up... Which side was it that was dangerous? It was up here, right? I think I'm going to set this guy... I'm going to set up our new buildings, which are our basic production buildings, to right here. We got a woodcutter, stone cutters, and a gatherer's pit, okay? So woodcutter... It's going to be one of the most important things you select early on, right there, okay? And, oh, flax. They are going to help you gather materials so much more efficiently. Because, unfortunately, we have to sit there and hit this little Z button every so often to be able to see where the materials are on the ground. They don't. They just know where the stuff is. So you definitely want them picking that up. All right. Alright, let's get some more trees. Now for construction. Oh, I broke my axe. Did I have a torch turned on? I did. I had my torch turned on, I didn't notice, and it broke. I thought it was the axe because I was working on a tree at the time, and I didn't read it, and just like, oh, it's the axe. No, it wasn't the axe. So we're going to go ahead and do this. Grab these guys. I'm going to grab one of these. Now, you want to have some materials ready to go when your guy comes in. They always spawn in as builders. It's very important to note. Always. They will always spawn in as builders, okay? So because they always spawn in as builders, you want to have a bunch of materials just on the ground and ready for them to gather so that they can start building, okay? Now, I'm going to set up a shelter. He's got a stone cutters or a wood gatherers thing. And then there's the rain collector to work on. Let me go ahead and lie down. Let me get some sleep real quick. That will give me that buff that I'm looking for. And you're going to see that it's growing. In the center, there's a diamond growing. That's how long you have to sleep until you get the buff. Alright, let's go and wake up. You'll also heal while you're sleeping, but it's very slow. It's not very effective. Alright. Go ahead and grab this other one. Need one more. Yep. Drop that down there. Let's go ahead and build. Now, you notice that buff already, that stamina buff is incredible. So, it increases your maximum stamina, it increases how fast it rebuilds, it increases a bunch of stuff for it, okay? Now, that's already gathering a little bit of water, but now that we have the water well, these are right here. See this thing? This is a natural water collector. It basically is a getting water from the stone, as it were. So we're going to go ahead and put this water well on top. This is really your source of water. Those work and they're great, but this is going to be your source of water. So we definitely want to build that as soon as possible. Now, I'm going to go ahead and harvest some materials for this guy while we wait for him to spawn in 5 minutes. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go around cutting down trees, gathering fiber, gathering sticks, possibly gathering some more stone and bringing it down here. That way, the moment he spawns in, he'll be ready. So for now, I'm going to go ahead and take a pause here, and I will see you guys at about 1 minute left. That way we can see what's going on. All right, see you in a bit. Alrighty, and we are back. We got 30 seconds until he shows up. And all I've been doing is just going around cutting these young firs down. I grabbed just a little bit more material so I can make myself a little bit more stone picks, or another stone pick and another stone axe. Now we're gonna go ahead and come over here. That way we can see what he's doing. Now, just so happens that we got a storm as soon as he was about to show up. Now, if I remember correctly, this guy's stone forged, or storm forged. Okay, so if we go, because the campfire is gonna turn off during the rain, we hit T, we can upgrade it to add fire cover, okay? Now, where'd that boy go? Here he is. Okay, let's talk to him real quick. All right. So, villagers and jobs, you can assign jobs, all that, but don't need to know any of this stuff, okay? Unless you want to. We want to know what are his characters like, okay? So, he's well fed. He's got a small strength boost. That's all awesome. He's stone forged, so he's doing great right now. Snow Strider, also great. He's a thirsty guy, so he likes a lot of water, and he's a rain dancer. So he's got 2 storm things, and he's a winter huntsman. So he is very good in the snow, very good in the rain. This guy likes bad weather. That is his thing, okay? He doesn't have any jobs right now. He does have issues. He's homeless, which is, you know, to be understood because he just got here, right? Now, if you hit here, you can give him stuff. They all come in from the get-go with the stone axe, with the hammer, and with a wooden hoe, okay? So they're ready to build. That is their thing. Or to go and gather materials from the woodcutter's pit, okay? Now, important to note, his schedule, all right? Now, by default, they come with 13 hours of work, 2 hours of leisure, and then the rest is all sleep. This can be good and bad. They have a lot of time working, but they only have a very small amount of time of leisure, okay? So, what I have been doing is actually reducing their time of sleep by 1, and then reducing their time of work by 1, and kind of trying to stick it in the middle. 1, 2, 3, 4, say 5. Yeah, let's do that. Now, why do I do this? One of the things you're going to notice is that when they're working, unless they're really, really badly hurt, they're not going to go get any help, okay? And there's something later on that you can build that lets them get help. But if you give them some leisure time in between, when they're kind of hurt, they'll be like, hey, it's leisure time. I'm hurt. Let me go get some healing. And it also lets them kind of unwind during the middle of the day, okay? So 1, 2, 3, 4. There's 13 hours here. 12 hours would be 6. 13 hours is not technically 6. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 here. Oh, sorry, leisure here. Okay. So I'll give him 6 hours of work, 6 hours of work, and a little bit of leisure in between, and some extra leisure at the end. Okay. Now they only have 7 hours of sleep. I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, they still have 8 hours of sleep, so they're still good to go. Okay. Now I'm gonna create, and this is gonna be our shift 1. All right. And we're gonna apply. It's important. You have to apply because now he's not gonna follow. Now he's gonna go get started on building. Okay. Now remember, we have a bunch of materials that we just farmed and sat on the ground. So he's had plenty of stuff to get started. Okay. Some water. He will feed himself, or he will gather his own water. And once you get a gatherer's pit, he's going to go and grab his own food. Okay. It's important. Now, the moment that he came out, our first thought should have been to, hey, go here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Apply. Let's look for somebody else. Athlete, wind rider, tireless vitality, sunrise, vigilant. So this is going to be a very good fisherman during the summer. And athlete, wind rider. Let's go with Embla. A little more neutral. No, don't need this. Put that down. I needed this. Right, I'm gonna give this guy. Now I think these are bad. Yeah, these are bad. So we're just gonna go ahead and throw them on the ground and not eat them. Now, if you want to split something in your stack, hold Shift, drag, and then drop, and it's gonna split the stack. All right. Now let's go ahead and trade with this guy here. We're gonna give him some food. So now he's got tools to get started. He's got plenty of materials to go grab. Okay. He gets his own water. We just gave him some food. He's got a new schedule to work on. Okay. That gives him plenty of leisure time and lets him sleep for a decent amount of time. Now, I think his schedule, let me make sure. His schedule, he would start working at 8. So until 8 o'clock, I'm not going to assign him a house because then he's going to go straight to try to go to bed. Okay. And I really need him to work. But that's the basics of it. You're going to want shelters. You're going to want working areas. And then in the next video, we'll talk about how these things work and how you can gather materials using them. It can be a little finicky sometimes, but that's fine. We'll figure it out. Okay. Anyway, yeah, we're going to go here to R. That's going to manage our house. It's going to give you a tutorial how to manage the house. And we're going to go ahead and assign him. Boom. So now he's got his own home. I can still sleep here if I want to. As long as they're not occupying the space, I can still use it. But yeah. And the next one, we'll talk about how we're going to use the gathering pits, like the woodcutter, the stone cutter, and the gatherer pit. We'll also talk about figuring out defenses once we have enough people, because one of the things that's going to happen now, because of how they instituted early access, is that they are really, really fond of having defenses when they sleep and when they work. If they don't, their mood goes down, and the moment their mood goes down, they work very inefficiently. Okay, so we definitely want to deal with that sooner rather than later. A good guide is trying to have at least 25% of your workforce be a guard force. Okay. So, anyway, another thing to note, as of this current build, which is, I don't know what build, but June 21st, there's a bug that if you hit save and then save and quit, all your progress gets lost. So only hit save and quit for now. Okay. Anyway, that'll do it for today. I'll see y'all next time. Bye.